our demonstration this evening, and we're going to be doing something very, very special. Because for those of you who have known me for years and years and years, I have my very own banana bread recipe that's not like a regular banana bread recipe. It's a take on a sweet bread recipe that I made it to banana bread. And then, of course, I had to make it even more spectacular, and I added chocolate to it. So I refer to this as my Coco Loco banana bread. And it's a chocolate banana bread recipe that's made on a sweet bread recipe base. So that's what we're going to be making today. And y'all may have noticed that we also renamed our cooking series. So now it's going to be cooking and cocktails, for the very simple reason that, you know, it's great to do a cooking demo and it's great to have cocktails, but I was like, we should have somebody from our neighborhood come make cocktails. And so I've got Jen Chan here. And Jen is going to make our cocktail that we're going to have, and then I'm going to make our banana bread. So we're thrilled to have you here. We want to big shout out to everybody at the City Club of San Francisco, especially Gwen, who's running things here for us. And Gwen came to me almost 6 months ago, right after we closed the club, and said, you know, we really need to do something. What should we do? And we were like, what can we do on Zoom? And Gwen was like, didn't you used to have a radio and television show? Didn't you used to do like a cooking demo? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, can we do that? And I'm like, sure, we can do it. And then, of course, the first one, we did a pizza recipe, and it went really, really well. But it was so funny because me and Gwen are talking, and me and Maria are talking, and I'm like, man, it's really different trying to do this in my tiny little kitchen in my 700 square foot condo in San Francisco.
So cute, though.
As opposed to, you're so sweet. As opposed to, you know, a studio with 3 cameras and a staff and all that. But we've been enjoying it for the last 5 months, and we're just going to keep going because
Mike, Philip Archer, those are all the people that are in there.
That's what we're doing here. So it's now called Cooking and Cocktails. And this is our very first Cooking and Cocktails. So big shout out to the City Club. Thank you all for having us. Also, for those of you who've never been to the City Club, sometime when you come to San Francisco, it is the premier business club here. It's an incredible building that's historic and beautiful. We would love to host you, so just let us know. Kevin and I belong to the club. We'll take you in and introduce you around. If you're visiting, let us know in advance, and we'll make sure that we have a night free to take you over to the club, because it's a wonderful experience. And for me, it truly sings the heart of San Francisco. When you go into the City Club, it feels like you're in San Francisco, and it feels like you're part of a community. So it's a really, really, really great place.
Very classic. Yeah.
So,
and it's full of wonderful people like.
Wait a minute.
Oh, we have the audience.
So we're gonna start with it. I'm gonna thank our sous chef Kevin.
Oh my God, he will be providing the interview.
That's right. Kevin for our pre-cocktail.
Cheers, living richly. I love that.
This is the ones to get us
I
started.
love it.
So we're gonna have a little sip of our pre-cocktail. Y'all grab yours.
Yeah. Let's like begin this show. Oh.
Okay, commence to start.
Okay, so I think Jen and I were talking.
Yeah.
And we were thinking, what goes good with banana bread?
Oh.
As we were, I believe, in the dog park sipping.
We met at the dog park.
We did. We met at the dog park. So for those of you who are familiar with San Francisco, we both live in Rican Hill down in East Cut, and we were at Rican Park, and Jen came over to meet our dogs, and that's how we meet people in San Francisco.
That's how we do it.
Right? And it turns out we have tons in common.
We like to mingle.
That's right, we mingle. We mingle and meet.
To tingle.
That's right. And now she's part of our bubble. So I was like, Jen, come over.
Walk away from each
That's
other.
right. I'm like, come over, let's do this.
I know, it's totally off the cuff, and we wanted to do something fun and
sweet
and cocktail-y.
And cocktail.
Yeah.
And a little thrilling.
You know, no pun intended, of course.
That's right.
But I wanted to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you, Philip, for welcoming me in your home, and Kevin being our audience member who will be taste testing for us.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to make pina coladas. But so I made this last week for Friday Happy Hour out at Cuban Arrow. It made it a nice, very nice event. So tonight we're going to make what I call gourmet pina coladas on the fly. Okay, so I always feel like people always say,
capital ID.
hey, it has to take a long time, but it really doesn't have to, okay? You just have to kind of pre-plan the things that you have to buy. And I'm just gonna briefly go over. I came from if you guys are wondering what makes me qualified to do this. I grew up in the.
You're qualified because I asked you.
That's all I mean. You get sloppy, okay? You get sloppy later, okay? Super sloppy. But I did grow up in culinary, so food and cocktails is a big passion of mine. But I always felt like, how can we make an experience of our drink at home where it feels super tasty and gourmet and not like, something you pull off the shelf and make it at home, but something that makes it like, wow, that was just amazing and chewy and delicious and gets to your like soul and heart. So what I'm gonna do is just briefly tell you what I bought, real simple ingredients that you can buy either at Trader Joe's, any your local grocery store. You don't have to do anything special. We have top shelf and we have daily shelf. I'm just saying. Okay, so what I did is I simply went to Trader Joe's and bought the organic coconut cream. And if you can see,
That's the secret.
this is what really makes it creamy. Okay.
That's the name.
Very
Coconut cream.
creamy. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this right here, and then of course any kind of pineapples. I mean, preferably you could do fresh, but again, it's gourmet on the fly, right? So this is pretty darn fresh. I mean, you can chill it. If you don't want to chill it, it's fine. Any kind of pineapples is totally great. Now, I want to tell you, this is my personal recipe, Jen's recipe. And given it's been so hot, I decided, well, why can't we make this a little versatile? So I froze some pineapple orange cubes, and I just put it in the ice, thing. And then I cracked it and then put it here, okay? So instead of using just ice, I decided, hey, why don't we have a little fun with this and put ice cubes and you'll see.
That's why they were so frothy and good last week.
Yeah, see?
Frothy deliciousness.
Yum.
Oh, he took a bite. What is that?
Hey, that one gets me jealous.
And
Don't
then,
put that one in mine.
That's one way to shut me up.
yeah, that's it. And then, again, Trader Joe's, this is in the freezer section. What does that say?
Coconut chunks.
Okay, coconut chunks.
Just coconut.
And I washed my hands earlier, so this is what it looks like. So we're gonna be pouring all this, and there's no there's really no wrong way to make this, because this is like very personal. It's more by feel and touch and taste. And then we also have some pineapple rings. So you can put your little finger in there. And then and I wanted to show you something really cute. Like if you're having a picnic or whatever, you can just put it in a little plastic. You see the pineapple, and you can just take it with you. This drink is sort of designed so that you just put it in the bag and go, and just have some simple little things that you can take with you.
Your garnishes.
Yeah, and your thank you. It's
You're
the
welcome.
sizzle. I
That's
call
right.
it the sizzle and the cherry on top. And then lastly, whatever you want as a topping and to make it look nice and pretty and
We did
sexy.
blueberries last
It's
week.
sexy. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did blueberries.
Yeah.
Just pop it in there. But I decided we're gonna do strawberries. It's whatever you feel like. What's your favorite fruit? Whatever turns you on.
Vodka.
It's not, I don't know if we can make vodka as a topping, but we could try.
Kevin's on painkillers.
Yeah. Ignore the audience for a second,
That's right.
okay?
That's right.
So I wanted to, so I'm gonna go to the freezer because I want to show you what else. Obviously, one of the most
We're gonna need.
important ingredients.
Awesome.
And what did you put in the freezer, Philip?
I put in the freezer our Captain Morgan spice rum.
Very good.
I did.
Very
I
good.
did. I remembered to do that. I forgot to put the glasses in, but I did put them in just a few minutes ago.
So
Priorities.
one of my things is I like very, very cold drinks. So I like things all cold and frozen, or at least cooled, so that when it is blended, and when it's poured, it's super cold and it goes down really well. So I'm gonna just put this right here. But thank you so much, Philip,
You're
for
welcome.
pre-planning. This was from last night. It doesn't freeze. Liquor, this doesn't freeze, so it's okay. And it's actually good to drink with like rum and Coke if you want to sometimes. It's one of my go-to drinks. And I also had asked Philip, what did you do in here, Philip?
We put our glasses in the freezer as well.
Okay, so this is more for just presentation, sex appeal. Can you bring out the two other glasses, Philip? So what we're gonna do is, this is my personal touch, okay? So what I like to do is I like to put the coconut rings right in here, okay? Because I like to create little surprises at the end when you get to the end of your drink. Sometimes when you get to the end of the drink, you're like, oh, that's the end of my drink, but ooh, you get a little surprise.
It is a nice little surprise.
Yeah, so if you wouldn't mind, we're gonna put that back in the freezer.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're gonna just do that. So while we're making it, we just prep it. And you can see how the mug and the glass is nice and frosted. So it creates a nice presentation. So if you wouldn't mind, thank you so much. Now, if you were here, right, Philip, we would have probably like 6 more glasses back there.
At least, well,
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we'd have 3 really big glasses. But that's, that's how I roll.
yeah, we like to roll.
Yeah, this would definitely be, if there were more people here, it'd be like, bring your own blender, right?
Yes, bring
Yeah.
your own blender.
Just
Okay. So awesome. So as you can see, you do, you might have to think about the list and kind of cater it to your taste. So one of my signature drinks around pina colada is I like things a little bit chewy, but you can get it through the straw because it brings a lot of texture to your mouth, and it's kind of like having a little party in your mouth. A little party. in your
Like
mouth.
it.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we now have the Ninja blender. So what we're going to do next is it's really about touch and feel and what you feel. There's no particular like baking order. So as long as most of the ingredients get in there and whatever you feel like, just do it. And there's never like too much or too little of anything, right? So we have the Ninja. That's Ninja. I happen to have one at my home too, so it was meant to be.
It was really funny. Jen's
Yeah.
like, I'll have to bring my Ninja. And I said, I have a Ninja. And she's like, you got a Ninja? And I'm like, yes, I got a
Oh my
Ninja.
God. Okay,
It's
great.
like, you're going to have cocktails, you got to have a Ninja.
Okay, perfect.
And they really are fabulous.
Yeah, they are very fabulous. So
Let's do it.
what we're gonna do is, I've already portioned it out. So there's this is a 16-ounce bag. So there's about like a half in there. And what I did is this time I defrosted it and put it in the fridge. So this would be a little easier to have it blend and grind because it's gonna be grinding other things. So I'm gonna just pour this in here.
So about 8 ounces of coconut.
Yeah, so you want to take care of that?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So as you can see, it's okay to fill this up, okay? As long as you have a really secure cap like the Ninja, it won't explode or anything, but you just want to put your hand on there. So for me, I tend to like things more chunky and a lot of goodies. So I'm just gonna pour that whole thing in there. Okay. Yeah. Woo! Okay. And then you must have the coconut cream. Why is that, Philip?
Because the coconut cream makes it rich
Creamy.
and frothy and creamy.
Exactly. Okay, so you want to just stir that up because sometimes some of the coconut floats to the top. So you want to kind of blend that in. And you can see how chunky it is. But this is one of the secrets for creamy. If you want like a white cream and any kind of creamy drink, actually. There you go. We'll put that all in there. Now, keep in mind that, you may not be able to use all the cubes, but you can start to keep what I call doctor it as you go. So I'm going to put that right here, okay? And so we're going to start and also put a little bit of ice. I washed my hands earlier. So I'm going to put some of the juice cubes. So these are pineapple orange. Now, if you want pineapple this or pineapple that, it's totally up to you. So you put that in there, okay?
This is so cool. I love the idea of doing that, and I know everybody's doing it now, of doing the freezing the juice instead of ice.
Yeah, and it's hot really right now. It's really hot, so you can just, pop one, you make it a little popsicle.
For all of y'all in Texas, it was literally in the 80s today here in San Francisco. It was blazing. It was a scorcher.
And a fire.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, everywhere's on fire.
everywhere else.
Everything's on fire except in here,
Yeah.
but we're on fire in a different way.
All of Northern California, except for San Francisco, is literally on fire again.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, obviously we're gonna have to cover it. So this is the first time I'm using this blender at Phillips.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we're
Good
gonna
job.
just, so luckily I have some familiarity. And so what we're gonna do is fire that up, put it on power, and then hold your ears. It's gonna be loud.
It's gonna get noisy.
I'm gonna start with one. There's three, what do you call these things?
Three different speeds.
Three speeds. I usually start with the low speed just to get a sense of the power of the blender that I'm using. And then
Why don't you repeat what level you were on?
I'm on level 3 right now. Yes, thank you so much. So you can pulse it, which means kind of like manual control, okay? So as you can see, it's blended pretty good, but you want to make sure that depending on what kind of straw, these are thick straws, so you have a little more room to have it be more chunky. But we want to go ahead and kind of blend it a teeny bit more so that it feels more like a drink than a chewy drink. Too overly chewy drink.
More of a drink than a meal.
Blender was on, you were saying something and they couldn't hear you.
Oh, excuse me. Just you want to increase the level of speed when you do your blending, just to get a sense of how your blender is going and how it's going to be like when it blends. So I'm going to just pull this out. I'm just pulling it out so you guys can actually see it. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit chunky. So yeah, so it really is based on preference. Seriously, like. Sometimes if you're traveling with this, you want to make it a little chunky, so by the time you get to your destination, it'll be actually perfect. But since we're ready to drink right now, we're going to blend it just a little bit more.
Get our
Oh,
glasses.
and then Philip's going to get the frozen glasses, the pineapple rings inside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just blend it just a little bit more. Okay, you want to snap it in. Okay, and okay, we get. We have it, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. So what we're going to do is if you like to, you have to taste a little bit, remember?
Oh, yes.
Would you like a little taste,
I would love
Kevin?
to. I'll be right over.
Can you make sure our audience member is going to step up to see if we might need any?
A member of our studio
Yeah.
audience.
That's
This is I'm going to feed him. Okay, what do you think?
Well, don't forget your rum.
You're absolutely right. I was just waiting to see if anybody caught that.
Okay,
Okay.
just a second.
Because that was what Kevin was supposed to do.
Like belly.
I've always
God forbid we're having virgins here. Look at this.
Man, that was
Oh,
one of
my
those Julia
God.
Child moments where she goes,
I
it's
just wanted to
delicious.
see if you guys are paying attention. Are you paying attention? All right.
I guess that means you have
I
to
told you
blend
they're
it.
really quick studies.
Yeah, but Kevin was getting ready to tell me there ain't no rum in there.
I was trying to be polite. For what?
Okay, so we are finished. You want to come taste one more time? And
Oh,
make sure we
yes.
have enough rum in there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Why would I not?
Here we
Okay,
go.
here we go.
There we go. audience member. Is that better?
Oh, no.
Yeah, much better.
All
Okay.
right.
And
Wonderful.
Philip, come on, they can feed off the same spoon here. Here we go.
Well, we've been
Is that
quarantining
good?
together.
How are we
We're
doing
good.
there? Yeah?
Yum,
Okay, very good.
yum, yum, yum.
I wish you guys were here because I feed all of you, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift this out so you don't wanna get cut, right?
Let me just-
Yeah, and then we're gonna pour. Remember, show them the pineapple. Remember the pineapple? So that's the little surprise.
Yep.
Okay, and then just tell me when.
That's good.
I love the pineapple in the bottom because I always eat my garnishes first, and then I'm like,
Exactly.
damn.
And we're not.
I
done
wish I
yet.
had that cherry still, or I wish I had.
It's a personal secret. Like
There's it for you.
you want to surprise whoever
Right.
it is, right? But we're not
It's a-
done yet. I'm all about the sizzle and the pop.
It's
the
a deal sealer.
experience.
Yeah.
It's a deal sealer.
So what we're gonna do on top of that is we're putting another. See, they think it's the only one, but when they get to the bottom, you want to lift that up
There's
for
an
me? So they
extra
can see?
little. Yes,
Can you
oh,
lift the
sorry.
glass for me?
That's the sizzle.
Yeah, that. So we're gonna lift that there and watch. Within inside the ring, I'm gonna put some strawberries. Okay.
Fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you want to put your straw in there. Okay, Kevin, would you
See
like?
how beautiful
see
that
how
looks?
pretty would you like your first taste test?
Yeah.
I will run this over to Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then you want to do the same for the others. Again, this is your personality. This is mine. I'm all about the sizzle. Okay? Okay, you want to hold that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, you want to first it's like creating some sex appeal. I like everything a little sexy. Okay.
I like what you said at the park, though. You said that cocktails are your love language,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they are so good.
Yes, it's I like
Make
a lot of
love.
love and sensuality in my drinks, so I like to express it out through food and expression. So that was perfect.
Oh, it's delicious.
So you want to show them how it looks like here,
There's that.
and then you want to put the strawberries on top. I normally put a little also coconut flakes on there if you really want to
But I think you do.
turn
I mean,
someone on. But so that is mine. So there you have it. It's called pina coladas, gourmet pina coladas on the fly, and that'll about 15 minutes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Boom.
Come on, Kevin.
Here, like,
We have our audience member, Kevin.
That's right.
Mhm.
Cheers.
It's amazing. I can get
Yeah.
from one side of the room to the other.
I wish you guys could have a little taste. Would you like a little taste?
Oh my god.
Mm.
This is so good.
Yeah, we don't have smell-o-vision
This is
or
so
taste
good.
division.
Oh my gosh. I'm loving the new format here because I can drink before I cook. This is fabulous. I'm
Yeah.
loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And this is gonna go right into Philip's
Banana
baking.
bread.
Yes.
Gwen, you've totally got to tell my agent that we've got to start everything with cocktails now for sure. Like not just that. Like we need to have we start everything with cocktails.
Yes. Every
Absolutely.
week we'll have.
That's right.
If
So,
you guys like it,
I
we'll
think
have-
starting everything in life with cocktails is probably a good.
I think that's a great idea.
That's right.
Cocktails make everything better.
Next time you're gonna have some
That's
too.
right. Does anybody have any questions for Jen about the pina coladas?
Cocktail gin.
I got a
I
question.
think
When's the next one
you
ready?
used-
I
Here's one
don't
question.
know when the next one ready.
What, Gwen?
Have you used any other juice besides orange as your sort of ad that was good?
Oh, for the juice part. You know,
I think apple would be good.
I'm still a fan of a traditional taste with a little pop. This was a pineapple orange.
Yeah.
It has a kind of a tiny background of orange in the background, but I still am very
It's really
much a
good.
fan of the pineapple and the coconut being the primary.
This gives the pineapple a richness. The
Yeah.
orange juice
Hmm.
gives the you know how pineapple when you're tasting pina colada sometimes the pineapple makes it a little bit too tart. Not really too tart, but
Sour.
it's got that sour.
Mhm.
The orange juice in that really gives it a golden warm flavor,
Mhm.
you know, as opposed to the bite.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try it. You know, when you go to Hawaii and it's like everything is pog, passion orange, guava. I was thinking it might be good to try a little of that because it's all those tropical flavors. Just a splash. Just a splash.
Now, what's the audience? What's your favorite? What kind of drink do you like for as a cocktail?
All of the above.
all of the above.
Yeah. Do you guys have any particular questions about the pina colada and how you can make it at home? Did you feel like it
Nadine
was
wants the
easy?
recipe. Nadine wants the recipe written down. Nadine Short.
Awesome. What can I do, Nadine?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun, and
Thank you, Nadine.
hopefully we can bring more different kind of versions of popular drinks, and it's really about gourmet drinks and cocktails on the fly. Woo!
Cool. Awesome.
Yum, it looks great.
Jen's gonna stay here with me as I make my banana bread
Yeah.
because I thought it would be really, really interesting
Yeah.
for us to just have a conversation while we're
Okay.
cooking. So,
Yeah. What are you making?
so I'm making this chocolate banana bread.
Mhm.
And again, it's based on a sweetbread recipe. So it was really funny because I've been watching everybody the past couple of weeks on social media joke about everybody ran out and started making banana bread 5 months ago. And I was like, they're not making my banana bread, right? And those of you who hadn't know, but it was really funny. And I thought I really need to like do my banana bread recipe. I was like, I'm gonna wait until like all of the banana bread's over, and then I'm gonna go. This is the banana bread you wish you had had, right? So it's a really, really versatile recipe. So the same base recipe, when we publish it, I'll also publish the other ones because you can do a carrot cake, you can do zucchini bread, you can do all sorts of different breads with this recipe. But I just personally thought it was fabulous with bananas because the big thing about banana bread is you taste it and it's just banana, and I'm like, what makes banana better? What enriches a banana?
The
Chocolate.
sizzle, right?
Vodka.
It's the sizzle. Again, we're talking about
The
sizzle.
audience member who's on pain medication once again yells out vodka. So
Karen's had. Karen, have you had banana bread before?
I think Karen has had it. Karen's had the chocolate banana.
No, she hasn't.
Oh, she has
Next
it?
time you're in town.
Oh, yeah. I'll send her some. So,
I would love that.
This is a really great recipe, and I just want to tell you, this is not like Richard. This is gonna blow all your points on Weight Watchers. This is, if you're diabetic, you can make this with a sugar substitute, and it will cost you about $40 a loaf.
My dad liked it though.
But it was really, really good. So I've actually made it for Kevin's dad before. Do we use stevia? What do we use?
We use stevia and yeah,
What else?
stevia.
Yeah, I think we used, I can't remember what we used, but we used something.
We use stevia.
It was like 5 or 6 years ago. So, but it's really, really super easy. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna need 2 cups of whatever vegetable oil you use. So I'm using canola oil. We're gonna start with that. And then we're gonna do 6 eggs. And while I'm working on this,
Sure. Yeah.
so it's kind of funny because we met at the park and we were chit-chatting and I was like, so Jen, tell me what you do. And being that I've been in real estate for over 30 years, and you said, I actually have a company that specializes in helping people, convert single-family residences to TICs, basically, to tenant commons.
Multi-family
Yeah,
buildings
multifamily,
and
yeah.
condos
Yeah,
here
yeah.
in San Francisco.
And I was like, oh my God, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And so that's how we got started. And while I'm cracking my 6 eggs, tell us a little bit, Jen. Tell me.
Wow.
Nice segue.
That's the most interesting segue I've ever seen.
That's right.
While you're cracking, it's
Tell
not
me.
like y'all cracked up or anything.
Better hurry, he's running out of eggs.
That's right. Tell me
Yes.
tell me a little bit about, because people that aren't from San Francisco might not understand the benefit to taking like an old historic property and saving it and turning it into something new.
Okay.
So tell us.
Okay, sure. I mean, given that's how we met, it seems apropos.
Yeah.
So my company is called White Tiger Conversion. It's really designed for the people that live in San Francisco and Bay Area to create more middle class housing. Currently, for the residential, while he's cracking the eggs, is currently the regulations are like 2-unit buildings where you can actually convert them into 2 separate condos. So instead of purchasing a $1.5 million duplex, you can, like Kevin, maybe another friend of Phillips, they can come in.
Sean and Joya.
Yeah, they can join in as a tenants in common, which is a shared ownership. And then after that, they can do the conversion, which is what I do. I specialize in taking these multi-unit buildings and separating it to separate condo homes. Now, every city is different, but the commercial buildings as well can also be converted to homes if it's in a mixed use or separate business quarters and or home quarters. Home, since the pandemic is creating a new model of home and work live, this seems very opportunity for a lot of these empty buildings to create more housing, which we desperately need in San Francisco. So that's one of the visions and missions, is to create more middle class housing and for the working class and for the middle class, so that they can get a step into the American dream. And at the same time, if you live beyond San Francisco, the rules in the cities are actually a little bit more open, so that you can actually convert a building, or you can step into a TIC with other owners, so that you have an opportunity to own and build a short-term and long-term goal.
That's awesome.
Yes, but let's talk about. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we've got our 2 cups of oil. We've got our 6 eggs. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla.
Nice.
And then I realized this. Yeah, I eyeball it. Sometimes I don't.
Look at that.
And then I realized that I didn't put this in the recipe because it's something I added later. But I don't ever make this anymore without cinnamon. And so I also do 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Oops.
Do most people put cinnamon in their
Most people don't. Most people don't.
Why do you like it?
I like it because when you've got the chocolate and the bananas,
Yes.
it gives it just a little
Pop.
It gives it this little, this neat little excitement in the flavor.
It's the sizzle.
It's the party in the mouth.
It's the party in the mouth.
It feels like cinnamon is the bridge between bananas and chocolate.
It's the bridge. It is the glue.
It isn't it? Yeah.
Glue that keeps them together.
Now, how much of that did you put in there?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah. And so what I've got in this mixture right now, and I always do it, a lot of people do their dry first, but with this particular recipe, I like to start with the oil and the eggs, the vanilla and the cinnamon, and get that together, and then I add my dry to it, because it's a lot easier to mix in and mix together. So the first thing else always let me do is I'll break up the egg yolks, and then I'm just gonna whisk this all together.
Now, what kind of consistency does it have to be?
It's really, right now, it's just gonna, it's all liquid,
Like
so,
all liquid?
except for the cinnamon, so
Okay.
it's just, you just wanna get it nice and mixed, and I'll show you guys when I've got it. You want everything to look like it's blended together, so you don't want these streaks in it.
Yeah, look and see it there. There you go. Yeah. Okay,
So, y'all see how I've got that blended together?
so it's a nice kind of tan color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that, and then what we wanna do is now we get to add all the dries, and this is where y'all are gonna freak out, especially if you're counting calories. So,
No one's counting calories today.
I always start with the sugar.
Are you counting? No one's counting.
I always start with the sugar because why not, right? So you're gonna need 2 cups of brown sugar.
You bought the organic light brown sugar?
I did because I realized I didn't have enough regular brown sugar in the pantry about 5 minutes before we started, and I ran across to the grocery store.
Oh, perfect. So that's mine.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, because we live downtown, so our grocery store is ridiculous. And I was like, I could have bought a sugar field for what
No, it's great.
for what that organic brown sugar costs. But it's good stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, so you're gonna do 4 cups of sugar total, but you're gonna do 2 brown and 2 white. And honestly,
Yes.
I don't remember why I did that. I just remember that I did it and it worked, and so that's how I've always done it. So I've never tried it another way. I wouldn't be terrified to try it differently. It just might taste a little different than what you're used to.
I'm sorry, you mentioned earlier, where did this originate?
So this was originally a sweetbread recipe.
Sweetbread.
It originated as a zucchini bread recipe, and then I started playing with it because I thought, well, if I can do zucchini bread, can I do carrot? Can I do carrot
And
bread?
it's good too.
Yeah,
I've had them all.
the carrot bread's really, really good. And then I thought, well, why not banana bread? And then I made banana bread, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I can make banana bread. What could I do
Yeah.
with that? And I thought, ooh, let's do some chocolate in the banana bread. And when I first started playing with this recipe, I used cocoa for the chocolate. And what it did was it made the loaves really, really dark brown. But it didn't, and it covered up the flavor of the bananas.
Oh.
And so I thought, you know what? There's a better way. And so I got rid of the cocoa and did the chocolate chips.
Yeah.
And so
You didn't want it to overpower.
yeah, because you want to. I mean, it's
You want to
banana
taste the
bread.
banana.
You want to be able to taste the banana. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, with banana bread.
it's kind of like steaks. You know, some people. You
Because you cover it with sauce.
Yeah, and I'm like, why
With
would
steak
you?
sauce.
I mean, we're from Texas. Like, that's sacrilege. I mean,
Oh my God.
you don't cover up the.
Yeah.
up
So
the
what are you
steak.
putting in there right now?
So this
Paula?
is the other 2 cups. This is the 2 cups of white
That's
sugar.
the white sugar?
Yep, the regular
Now, why
sugar.
is it that you put brown and white?
That's I honestly just did it for the original recipe, and I can't
Okay.
remember why.
Why?
But
But it seems to go
I'm
well.
sure there was a reason.
Okay.
You know, 10 years ago
Yes,
that I
definitely.
did this, and
You guys are going 100 miles an hour.
are we really?
Lord have mercy.
We've had a
Slow down,
few
people.
pina coladas.
So I've got our sugar. So I got this is 4 cups of sugar. And I'm
Wow.
gonna stir this in,
Mhm.
and then as soon as I get this, and you don't have to stir it all the way in. You just want to get it started because we're getting ready to add our flour.
Okay.
And when you put all the dry in, it gets difficult to mix.
Yeah.
So I've just got that a little stirred in,
Yeah, nice.
and
Well,
One of
looks very
the
good.
people said that mixing the sugars actually can produce a moister loaf of bread.
that must have been it. Okay.
Oh!
Yeah, that's
okay.
the ticket.
Well, no, because I say that because you'll whoever mentioned that, you'll love this part because there's another who was it? Nadine. So Nadine, you're gonna love this and you'll know why I do it. She'll know exactly why. I know nobody's gonna know why. Our other secret recipe that people always go, what? So now I'm gonna do 4 cups of sugar. 4 cups of flour. So basically, your base is 4 cups of flour and 4 cups of sugar. So this is basically 50% sugar. But bananas is superfood, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is very healthy.
Yeah. So it's gotta be.
Banana is not a superfood. Karen
Surely.
King is disagreeing.
Karen.
Rude.
Whatever.
So I saw that
God,
he
I can't believe Karen King is fact checking me in the
used
middle of
all
my
these,
recipe.
you cooked all these bananas.
Rude. I can't wait
and
for
froze
Karen.
it.
I'm gonna get Karen back. I'm gonna get
That's
Karen back.
Yeah.
I know. Give Karen King.
Yeah.
Smarty pants. All
Those
right.
bananas look good just like that.
Yeah, the bananas. So it's
I know
really
the
funny
bananas.
when Jen came over and she saw my bananas. So these are literally you don't make banana bread with fresh bananas.
Shelley Studdard said that this would also go well as pumpkin chocolate chip bread.
It's not
Yes,
supposed to try.
I've done it with pumpkin, Shelly, but before you do it, let me know because I think I have a separate recipe because the pumpkin is so moist, you have to change some stuff around.
Shelley may have a recipe.
Yeah, Shelly may have it too. But these are my black bananas, and these were. So I let my
Oh, I
banana
thought they were chocolate.
go bad. Right, when I have the banana go bad, when they
You
go
just ship them
bad,
over here, okay?
when the bananas
If
go
you have
bad,
bad bananas, black bananas, just ship them over here, Philip. They
that's
don't
right.
take care
When
of
they
you.
go bad,
He'll
they
take,
go in this little bag in the freezer.
he'll take care of it.
That's right. And
Nothing goes to waste here.
Okay.
and when I have 6 of them, I can make banana bread. So
You two are getting a little too random.
that's crazy.
The pie, I think the colada is really kicking in.
That's right. That's what it is.
Where is your colada anyways?
It's over here somewhere.
Here we are.
Thank you.
Here we go. We can give it to the little baker here.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you want to. So the next thing you want to do is this stuff you want to get mixed in again, just enough, and then you're going to add your final dry ingredients, and they are. So I've got it just kind of lumpy, okay? And so the next thing you want to add is we're going to do a tablespoon of baking soda. So this is a tablespoon.
I'm just curious. I'm not a baker, but I just was curious. What does the baking soda do?
I'm not sure what the baking soda does, but the baking powder helps it rise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's part of the helps the baking better.
So this is what I know from my limited experience is that, and Nadine will probably know. Nadine, what does the baking soda do? What I know from my limited experience is that baking is scientific. So you really, really, like making cocktails and making dinner, you can kind of, you know.
That's why I don't bake.
Yeah, but if you're baking and the recipe says this, you have to use the recipe. I learned that by trying to make bread for years in a bread maker, and it hated me. And my ex, it loved him, and it made beautiful bread, and it just didn't like me. And finally, he was like, "You're doing something wrong." I'm like, "There's no way I'm following it."
Exactly. Yeah. Baking is
I
not
have answer
It
for you.
neutralizes acids, you guys. That's what it's for. Believe it or not, that's what it's for.
What is it for?
It's to neutralize the acid.
Oh.
And baking soda and baking powder are basically the leaveners. So they help with they make the, in combination or by themselves even, they make your bread rise.
That's okay. I figured that they had something. I knew that the baking powder did, but I wasn't sure about the baking soda.
Oh, thank you so much.
So here's my half teaspoon of baking powder, and that's your dry ingredients. So what you want to do, and this, you want to stir it until it gets so heavy and thick that you need something to make it a little bit thinner. And so I can usually get it stirred pretty well in. And then I'll add a can of crushed pineapple that I have
Yeah, that's interesting.
straining in here.
It's very
And this is what I use to give it the extra, this and the bananas give it the extra moisture. And the cool thing, it's really, I tried several things, and what I found was that the pineapple actually accentuates the taste of the banana. So when I wasn't using pineapple, my banana flavor did not come in as strong. But when I did use pineapple, I mean, accentuate the flavor. And I found that it's the same thing with the zucchini and everything else. For whatever reason, the pineapple, you've got that moistness factor, which is great, because it really makes it more like a sweetbread. But it also, it enhances the flavor of whatever else you're using. So it'll enhance the carrot or it'll enhance the zucchini. So this is kind of what you've got right now.
nice.
And then we're gonna add, we've got 1 can of crushed pineapple. It's just a standard can of crushed pineapple.
Now, are you able to use other type of crushed fruit, or you found?
I would
pineapple
assume
being the
so.
best?
You can certainly experiment with it and try it. I just know that that this works great for the banana bread to enhance that taste of it.
That's the
Because you know
secret.
bananas.
That's not many people know that.
Well, and bananas, bananas have kind of a soft taste to them. They're not a powerful. They got more of a smell than they do a taste.
Sure.
And so it's if you're looking for that, when you smell it, you want to taste it too. And so I was looking for something that would help us, get that real banana taste. So
Kind of like
Cheryl Stanton said that you can actually peel the banana and wrap it in plastic wrap before you put it in the freezer, and it makes it a little easier to use.
oh, what a great idea.
Awesome.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't seen Cheryl.
Cheryl's a helper.
Cheryl is a helper. I'm going to set this aside for just a minute, and we will come to our bananas.
Cheryl also has the best Zoom photo, just for the record.
Cheryl wins.
Cheryl wins.
So, tell me a little bit. So, Jen, what are your favorite things about our neighborhood here in San Francisco? Well, I'm literally just going to peel 6 rotten bananas right now.
Hey, you gotta do something. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. We live in the East Cut, which is kind of a combination between Soma and Embarcadero, near the bay, under the Bay Bridge, the lights of the Bay Bridge. And I think that we have an interesting mix because it's also the financial district, and We're in Philip's condo, which is super cute, actually. Super to be spacious. And air conditioning, which is amazing.
I thought Jen had melted on the way over. When I got to the lobby, I was like,
There was just this puddle.
oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, can I just sit?
I knew what
Sit
really
for a minute?
happened. I knew what really happened. Someone threw water on them.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
I am, it's really interesting. San Francisco is one of those cities that we're very, very compact. And so, what used to be a bunch of historic old buildings that were compact, has now, given rise to, we have a lot of high-rise
Sure.
buildings. And so, like in our development, we have about 1,500 people just in our complex. And then across the street, there's another one just like us, another 1,500 people. And then across the street, another one just like that. So it's become very, very compact. And so what they've done to change the way the city responds to things is they started doing these little neighborhoods. And so they'll come in and start, a new neighborhood, and that's where the East Cut came from.
Yeah.
The East Cut actually is kind of a not the best story of wonderful San Francisco, but many like years ago, like 1869, I think, the city was trying to figure out a way to get stuff from up on the hill down to the piers, and they decided to cut a trench through Rincon Hill, and it became known as the East Cut. They basically, you've gone to places like Georgia and Mississippi in the South where there's a mountain and they just cut through it instead of going over it. And so that's what they basically did to the neighborhood here. And so when they were looking for a name for our neighborhood, they were like, well, this used to be the East Cut, so why don't we just call it the East Cut? Which was not terribly popular because a lot of people had negative memories about it.
It's a strange name.
But that's who we
That
are.
makes sense.
Yep, that's who we are. So that's who we are. And so that's how we have become born as the East Cut.
Yes.
And we are between the Ferry Building and the Bay Bridge, just off the Embarcadero.
Yeah.
And so
There's a Cupid's arrow.
yeah, it's a really, really cool neighborhood. But it's been really neat because now we have a lot of young people moving in with kids, and I think that we probably have more dogs than anybody else.
More dogs than people.
Yeah.
It's been known.
So once you get your 6 bananas, I'm going to use a pastry blender, and I'm just going to blend this all together because when bananas do get old and then you freeze them and then you thaw them, the oil is going to separate from the banana, and you want to get it back in there. So I just use a pastry blender to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a very nice yellow, vibrant color actually to the banana. It doesn't
It
look
black and
like
ugly.
this, but the inside is very, very vibrant. Just so you know. Which I never knew either. So this is kind
A
of
lot of people,
yeah.
a lot of people had no idea that you could do this. It was really funny because when we moved to Salt Lake City, our neighbors used to leave their old bananas on our doorstep, and then I would make banana bread and give them to the neighbors.
Everybody put it right on his horse.
Yeah, so I walk out and go, "What is this? Oh, it's a bag of raw bananas. Thank you."
Yeah.
And it was really cool because like we would leave zucchini and squash out from our garden if we had too much. And that was one of the fun things about living on the mountain with a big yard.
Another way you can freeze bananas is peel them and slice them into little coins and
Yeah.
freeze those. And then if you need them, you can always just grab a few to put in a smoothie.
Oh, and a smoothie or like a little snack even.
Yeah, but they make your smoothie. If you want some banana in your smoothie, you just grab a few pieces and it makes your smoothie cold too.
Cool.
Great idea. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so now we're gonna add our bananas,
Wow.
and there's only one thing left to go,
And it's not vodka.
and it's not vodka. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Chocolate chips.
Wow. Look at that. I can feed an army here.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you can also the recipe will be a double batch, so you can half the recipe and it's totally fine. You don't have to make any changes to it, but it'll be a double batch like this, which will make 4 loaves. It'll make probably 12 mini loaves, a bazillion cupcakes if you want to do
Wow.
cupcakes. And you can either use, I'm going to use my stone, as y'all know I like to cook with stones, but you can use those little baking cups for cupcakes. And like everything, you're just going to fill it 2/3 full, and then it'll bake, and it'll rise up, and it'll be good to go. So we've added the bananas, and you want to mix them in. The key to this one for me is when I add the pineapple, I want to mix it all the way in.
Yes.
And then when I add the bananas, I want to mix it all the way in. And then when I add the chocolate chips, I want to mix it all the way in. But I don't want to put them in together because I want those tastes to remain separate in the final dish.
Okay.
So I didn't want to wash the chocolate with banana.
Got it.
And
It'll
then-
melt in there, right?
Well, when it cooks,
Yeah.
you know, then you kind of get this warm chocolate and the banana. It might be really, really good, but I wanted to have, I wanted the bread to taste like banana, and I wanted
Sure.
the chips to be that little, ooh, what is that? Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
you didn't want it to take over the bread.
right. So the hardest thing about this recipe is the stirring. It's a lot of stirring. And then when it goes in the oven, because you know if you're doing loaves or if you're not doing like small things, it's going to be an hour in the oven.
So
know,
you
to
don't,
cook.
how come you don't use something like this to do that? Why is that?
So the whisk is
Yeah.
great for the dry ingredients and
Uh-huh.
the wet ingredients that I started with.
Okay,
But what you don't want to do is you want this to be a little lumpy.
lumpy.
Yeah.
Just like my drink.
Yeah, you don't exactly.
And Dustin and Adrian asked if these freeze well. I can attest to that. Well, Adrian did, but it's, you know, they're a team.
So Adrian does
we
it.
we keep a small supply of them for like party host gifts. We put them in the freezer, take it out the day we're going to a party. And there is one special party that we used to go to every year in Dallas. It was Michelle and Miranda's. And it was tradition that we'd bring a whole loaf of this bread because they would host this party until all hours of the night. And we were sure that some people might wake up with a headache the next morning. So that loaf of bread became a tradition. They popped it in the oven for 10 or 15 minutes. It was perfect.
Yeah, it does. This bread is everybody who's ever had the recipe, which is maybe 10 people, because y'all are special. Y'all are getting it now. I'm letting it. I figured if Kennard could give away their scone recipe, I could give away the chocolate banana recipe. So,
Yeah.
you know, these are times in which we just need a little more sweetness in life.
Elsie and Sharon.
And so we're just gonna
Sharon
do
is
it.
Karen.
But this stuff freezes amazingly well. That's why me and Kevin aren't like 10 times the size we are because I make it cools, and it goes in the freezer.
Oh, I could totally gnaw on a frozen one if
Oh
I
my
had to.
God. Hey, I just had a question. How long does it keep in the freezer?
You could probably, I
It
mean,
doesn't last
it
that
doesn't
long.
last so long, but you can pretty much anything will last a year in the freezer.
Oh, a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much anything.
Not at my house.
Ah,
Last that long.
was that
We
a
never tried
a
this
week, a
out
couple
last
days?
Yeah.
Keep looking,
Ooh,
keep
we never
looking,
really
just
did
come
that.
out.
So you're gonna do 2 cups of chocolate morsels.
Wow, okay.
Chocolate morsels.
That's a new one. I've never seen that
And
before.
I use semi-sweet. And I'll tell you, because I'm doing a double batch, I'm gonna mix this in and see if I like the consistency, because I may go with one more thing of chocolate morsels.
Sure.
But typically 2 cups. I think it's gonna be,
Yeah, it looks,
I think 2 cups is gonna do it.
yeah, that looks great. Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that looks perfect to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is your finished batter.
Hey, batter.
And I'll do a little spoon so you can kind of see the consistency. Try it.
Just try a little bit. Ooh. Ooh, very
That
is
smooth.
good
It's
I
like-
may or may
it's
not
like
have licked
cookie
the bowl
dough.
a
You
few
better
times in
not.
my
You better
days.
not get started. It's like cookie dough.
So we've got
Oh,
the
yeah.
oven preheated to 350, and this time, so this is my, this is the thing that I use these for the most, is I actually use these, I make little mini bundt cakes out of them.
Good.
And so I have my Pampered Chef mini bundt stone.
So
And for
cute.
those of you who have not heard this before, I pretty much only bake in stoneware. So like you'll see me cook a chicken in a stone oven.
Wow.
And I am a little crazy about Pampered Chef. I worked for them for many years. They were wonderful to me before Warren Buffett bought the company, and the company's still in existence and is doing very, very well. And they have incredible products. I have a lot of friends who work for them, but the stoneware, the reason that I buy Pampered Chef stoneware is because it's made in the United States. And if you buy stoneware that's made outside the United States, you need to make sure that that country has strict rules about what goes in it. They have found a lot of foreign stone
Oh,
because it's clay,
sure.
has heavy metals in it. And so you don't want to be,
Got it.
cooking for your family with those.
That's great.
So I went in 100% American clay. And the great thing is you don't really have to do anything. You don't even have to really spray nonstick in here, but because it's a bunt, I always spray nonstick. So I've got my Baker's Joy, and I'm gonna spray these. We're gonna fill them up, and it's gonna go in the oven for, these will go in the oven for about 45 minutes, and you're just gonna need to test them, at about 30 minutes, and then monitor them after that. But these are what, when we find out that one of our staff here at the building has a birthday, we've got these in the freezer, and we got little boxes, and we do a little card. So this is, if I don't know about your birthday and I find out about it, this is likely what you'll end up getting.
October 31st.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you
Mine's
really?
tomorrow. Oh wait, I just had one.
Oh, wait.
When are you really a Halloween
Baker's
baby?
Joy.
Did I say October? I meant August.
Are you really August or are you really October?
For the purposes of banana bread, I'm August. For the purpose,
I think
But
every day should be
are you
celebrated.
really a Halloween baby?
yeah, I really am.
Oh my gosh, my brother is a Halloween baby. So
Also a true Scorpio.
that is, yeah, well, I like your Scorpio better than I like his Scorpio. Let's just say that. Oh.
There's a lot to love about us, and there's a lot not to.
Well, I love everything about your Scorpio. So I actually like to use a measuring cup to actually do this as well, because typically 1 cup of this is gonna fill these, and it just makes it easy for me to use. But you don't want to overfill, because then you get a mess in your oven. You want to do these right at 2/3 of the way full.
So it gives some space to rise.
Gives it some space to rise.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And then these will be ready to go in the oven. And again, you can use these, you can make muffins, you can make little mini buns like this. I've actually made a cake out of this for somebody's birthday. So there's all sorts of stuff that you can do. When you do the zucchini bread recipe is also really spectacular. And I like to do the zucchini bread recipe as a cake and then just put a cream cheese, a cream cheese icing on it. And it's like off the hook. It's amazing.
When you said cake, my brain said cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, it is. And let me tell you, I'll do the zucchini bread sometime, and with the frosting, it'll blow your mind. A lot of times I'll do it like when Kevin's having something special at work, I'll do it, and then I'll do the muffins, the zucchini muffins, and then I'll pipe a little, cute little icing thing on top, and it's just yummy.
Very cute.
And they're adorbs, tootsie.
Totes adorable.
So this is what your 2/3 full is going to look like.
Tilted. Very
Perfect.
Alrighty, and we're going to throw this in the oven at 350.
How long you bake it for?
And I'm going to check it in 30 minutes. But
30 minutes.
and that one it's going to go probably 45. And if you're doing loaves, you're probably closer to an hour. So, and then
after 45.
yeah, and then on your cupcakes and things like that, I would do probably 25 minutes and start checking. You're probably going to get 25 to 35 depending on, where you live and, what the temperature and stuff is like. And
Now,
The
how long?
beautiful thing is when you're done with that, what we end up with is, what were you gonna ask me, Jen?
I was going to ask Philip, after you take it out of the oven, how long do you have to let it kind of just cool down?
Cool down.
Yeah.
I would definitely, you always want to let anything that you bake cool down for at least 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah, but at least 10, a minimum of 10. But probably something that's the thicker and more sticky it is,
Yeah.
the longer you want to let it sit. So maybe 15, 20 on other things,
Okay.
but you also don't want to wait too long.
Yeah.
Because then it's, well, it sticks. It'll stick.
It'll
Yeah,
stick.
so you want to get it out while it's the
Yeah.
perfect cool.
Okay, got
If
it.
you go too soon, it'll stick. If you
Got
go too late,
Too late.
it'll stick too. But the magic of television or Zoom, this is what you end up with when we're done.
Wow.
And you know how Jen was talking about how she likes to put little things in the center
Yeah.
of her cocktails.
Yes,
So
yes.
I like to put little things in the center of
Oh,
this
what
because
is
it's the
that?
fun. So
What do you
if
like?
I serve it for dessert, I'll put like strawberries or
Strawberries,
blueberries
okay.
or something that goes well with
Yeah.
chocolate and bananas. It's great with caramel, more chocolate, even just powdered sugar.
Sure.
But this is what you'll get. And they're great to, I'll literally let them cool and then I'll wrap them up in saran wrap and I'll put them in the freezer.
You wanna
And
put some strawberries in
I
there?
am, why don't we?
I mean, we
We
have a
can,
little
we'll
leftovers.
have this for
So
dessert.
you have it cocktails.
That's
Yeah,
right, we'll
we'll
have
put,
it for dessert.
let's put a little strawberry in there.
Yeah,
Sure.
so there we go.
Yeah, just a little drizzle in there.
Anybody got any questions about our chocolate banana bread?
Voila. Beautiful.
Ooh, ooh, ah.
Very nice.
It's simple, it's elegant.
Yeah.
So you guys have heard me say this before, this is for sure a deal closer. So like, if you've been dating somebody for a while and you're gonna have that dinner, this is the dessert.
This is it.
This is the dessert.
Right here.
Yeah,
That's the
this
drink.
will seal the deal. Yeah, I would go with,
In combination.
I would go with rack of lamb and then
Oh,
the chocolate banana bread for sure.
dangerous.
Yeah,
dangerous.
that's big ones for me.
Danger Will
That's
Robinson.
right, that's right.
Danger
Danger,
Will
danger,
Robinson.
danger, danger. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh my God. Please.
That's all right.
You're like, I just want a taste.
Well, cool. If you've got questions, you can either type them in to Gwen or I'm not sure if y'all are muted or not, but you can type them in. And just to give y'all an update on the Living Richly brands and what we're doing here. So number one, y'all can be really excited that finally, after 2.5 years of living here in California, I started my real estate classes in California.
Yay!
So everybody's like, Phil's been in real estate forever, and he's not licensed in California yet. So
Yeah.
it's taken forever. So I started that. Roaming Richly, we've completed our transition, so we are now just Roaming Richly Travel, which is wonderful. We're enjoying our independence.
Woo-hoo!
We're having a really great time. Many of our favorite vendors have reached out to us to congratulate us and extend us special opportunities that we'll be able to use for people when it's time to get back to traveling. And I would, I'll tell you, I'll give you a little travel update. Last week, I didn't even do my travel update email or video because I had been so excited the week before because we had sent all these people, we're going to have ships go out August 1st. So we're going to have Alaska. These were going to be small ships.
Wow.
And so 3 of my favorite vendors, they all sent ships out. They all turned around and had to come back.
Whoa.
And then I thought, well, at least we know now what we can do and what we can't do and how to do it best. And the protocols work. So there was no spread. And in fact, one of them, the uncruise positive COVID test from the person that tested positive after they got on the ship, it ended up being a false negative.
Oh.
So that they could have kept cruising, but they turned everybody around, brought them back, took care of business. So this week we have a lot of larger ships going into the water in Europe. And so we'll see what happens there. My vote for you is that, I'll tell you what we're doing. And Kevin and I are both over 50 and we have some other, health, conditions that, put us at heightened risk. So we're being very cautious about travel. But this is what I'll tell you that we're gonna do. So we're going to start traveling on small ships the middle of next year. We'll probably do a land tour at the early part of the year if it's safe to do that. But we're going to start traveling on small ships towards the middle of 2021. So we have the Iceland circumnavigation available if anybody would like to join us for that. And then we're going to do Egypt. We're going to do Egypt, a Nile cruise at the end of the year. We were looking at the week after Thanksgiving, but believe it or not, it's all full. So I wanted to make sure that we had room for people to go along with us. So it's probably going to be October, somewhere in there. But that's kind of our foray back into travel. We do have clients that are traveling domestically. They're flying on planes, going to see Mount Rushmore or Yellowstone or places they've not been. And for the most part, they've said, depending on what airline, you're either going to have block seats or you're going to have a full plane, or you may not have a full plane, so you just don't know. I would probably recommend going with an airline that's going to not fill up the plane. So sorry, American Airlines, but everybody else is blocking off seats still. Everybody's required to wear a mask now, which is a positive. And the other thing that I would say is the national parks, some of them are very, very crowded. So that's the one thing that people told us was, we love that we got to go to the national park. We weren't expecting them to be so crowded, with people not practicing any kind of safe precautions. So, just, be careful. The other thing I would say is we now have the ability to put you in an RV and send you on a trip, and it can be a regular RV, it can be a luxury RV. So we can put you in whatever you want. We can also now, we always been able to do this, but it's not something we really promoted a lot, but private planes and private jets are a lot more being utilized for vacations now. And believe it or not, it's not as expensive as you would think. So there have been several times that Kevin and I have looked at going overseas with a group and thought we could get a private jet to take us instead for the same price. So you're looking at a rather large group, but it just kind of depends. So that's what's going on in travel. Obviously, the thing that we're going to recommend is if you're thinking about leisure travel, call us and have one of our people talk to you. We've got offices in Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, and then I run San Francisco. So just reach out to your expert and find out what's the best way to go. And we'll give you our best advice that we can, and then you just have to decide what you're comfortable with. As things progress, as I feel more comfortable traveling, you'll hear more recommendations from me on the things that we're going to be looking to do. But until then, we're going to keep sending you beautiful pictures of beautiful places we've been, talking about great places for you to put on your bucket list, and cooking with you every other week with the City Club. So
sounds exciting.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for being here.
And thanks for having me, everyone.
We're so thrilled. Thank you for being our very first cocktail.
Thank you so much.
Thank all of you for being here. We truly, truly appreciate it. We love that y'all come out and do this. We hope that we're being of service to you during these interesting times. Be safe, wear a mask, take care of yourself, take care of each other.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Thanks again to all of our people at the City Club who have made this possible. Remember that when you're in San Francisco, let us know so we can take you over to the club and show you around. And we are going to leave it at that. So.
Awesome.
And Gwen says bye. Her audio is acting.
That's totally cool.
Thank
we
you so
love you,
much.
Gwen. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks everybody for being here.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Mwah.